Hi, it's Tiffany Jenkins with the Bloomery out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and mum season is upon us. We grow roughly 12,000 here, and today I want to talk to you about how to pick out a good mum when you go shopping at the store. So generally your mums will come in 5 different colors, and there are going to be different shades of those colors. So different shades of purple, different shades of red, white, yellow, and orange are the most typical colors. There are also different types of blooms on mums. So the first thing you're going to want to look for is a nice rounded habit, one that's uniform and symmetrical like these here. The next thing you're going to have to decide is what bloom stage you want your plant to be in. Do you want it in full bloom? Do you want buds just forming, or even no buds formed yet? And we're going to take a close look at what that looks like now. So typically once mums start to bloom, they will bloom from 4 to 8 weeks, and from the beginning of the season to the end. And blooms, once they're fully open, last approximately 3 weeks. It is okay to pinch or deadhead those old blooms. Now, you're not going to promote a lot of new growth at this point in the season, but it is going to preserve your plant, help avoid disease problems, and make it look better. So here we can see their buds, baby buds I call them, just barely starting to form. This plant still has a lot of growth to go. It has not elongated yet. Those buds have not elongated, and there's still a lot of growth coming on. Here, we can take a look at this one, and you can see that it's actually got some color starting to pop through. A lot of the buds are formed now, and you can see that they're starting to elongate. So pretty soon, I would say within the next 3 weeks, this mum will start to be in full color. This one is a little bit farther along. You can see even more blooms have formed. So one thing I love about mums is, like in this one here, there are flowers starting to open, but yet there's still so many more to come. So what's great about them is that they do last for a really long time, because you have different buds opening at different times. And then once that plant is in full bloom and all the buds are open, it's just a big ball of beautiful color. So heat, if you live in a spot where it's really hot, heat can actually delay those blooms opening. So be mindful of that. Also know that heat can cause the flowers to fade quickly. So if you're in a very hot area, you might want to put your mum in a spot where it's not maybe getting full hot sun all day long in these pots. So some more things that you're going to want to look for when picking out a mum. One is dark green foliage. You don't want light colored yellow foliage. Dark green foliage is a sign that that plant has had plenty of nutrients and is healthy and growing like it should be. Another thing that you're going to want to be mindful of is broken branches. Check the branches, make sure that they're not broken down inside, because that branch will just die off and make your mum look ugly. We also want you to check for disease signs. So this is a mum that we threw out. It has fusarium wilt, and if you see branches when you're looking at your mum and they are brown on top or getting yellowy, wilty, droopy looking, that is a sign that that mum may be battling disease. So don't pick that one if you see those signs. One thing to remember is that when your mum is in full bloom, those blooms are going to hide any imperfections. So if you have a branch maybe that's sticking out a little bit taller than the others, either trim that off or just wait till it fully opens and it'll still look beautiful. Here at the Bloomery, we put 3 plants per pot. Most people don't do that. We do that mostly because we ship them a lot in semi-trailers, and it helps it to be stronger. The branches don't break as easy. They're shorter and they're sturdier branches. So that's a question you might ask. How many plants are in this pot? We grow them in 3-gallon pots, and we have 3 plants per pot. So it's easy for mums to wilt when it's really hot outside. So when you're buying a mum, check for well-watered pots. You don't want one that's just soggy, soft, and wet all the time, but pick one that you can tell it's had enough moisture, it hasn't been left to sit dry for a very long time, nor has it been in soggy soil for a very long time. So one thing that I highly recommend is for you to purchase a mum with netting. That netting is in there to help prevent breakage during bad weather, strong winds, or if a mum just splits apart like they do sometimes. Luckily here we use 3 plants per pot, so we don't have that issue. But we put our netting on the mum early in the season and give it plenty of time for the blooms and the stems to grow up through it. Here you can see this yellow mum has the netting in it. You probably wouldn't even notice it if you purchased it. So if you do buy a mum that has netting in it, do not cut it out. It's definitely a plus to have it in your mum. Purchasing a mum, be sure that you know if it's a florist mum or a garden mum, because florist mums cannot be planted outside as perennials. And we're going to do another video that talks all about how to plant your mums as perennials. If you follow these easy steps, you can pick out a perfect gorgeous mum that's going to last you all season long. Thank you for being a part of the Bloomery. Follow along with us on all our social media outlets and at www.thebloomeryky.com.